Hello, people of the world watching internet videos that have to do with cars. Welcome to this, my 1990 Honda CRX SI Restoration Series, which will soon be powered by this JDM SIR2 spec B16A. Hood pop. If you're new here and you'd like to get caught up on this project, up above my head on the screen is a link to the car review I did on this car to establish a baseline before the restoration began. Now, without further ado, it's time to address the original little D16, which has about 250,000 miles on it. You might notice that I have a brand new genuine Honda battery tie down in here, and now the rest of the engine bay has to match that. Battery, come out. This has a strong whiff of rat feces. Ideally, I want to reuse the factory airbox with the B series. The intake tube is held together with electrical tape. Time to bust a cap in yo ass. That's like a kielbasa down a hallway. Excellent tape job, if I do say so myself. This is covered in a liquid that has dried, and I don't think it's all battery acid. I used some of my own detailing products, soak that in some citrus degreaser. This car also came with a stack of service records showing that it had Honda maintenance all the way up till year 2016 until it sat. Airbox with a lung. Every last part I removed from this car is getting cataloged, so it's easy to reassemble. I'm amazed that this thing still has the airbox silencer behind the bumper cover. I would imagine that's a kind of uncommon part to be able to find now these days. I don't know if that's rat poop falling in my eyes or I'm just gonna pretend it didn't happen. Da 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 da. Why would you not name your horse? Leave a comment if I got that song stuck in your head. Hey, these are actually in good shape. While the lenses themselves could be restored, the inner chrome portions, not so much. But thankfully, I did score another set of OEM Stanley ones. Got it! Didn't mean to drop it, but I got it. Didn't break. Look at the difference between where I cleaned and where I didn't clean. That's wild, that's part of a B. Just so I don't create any confusion, because I have a problem where I assume every one of you watching understands the mess that's happening inside here, and nobody understands the mess that's happening inside there. So my thought process is to extract the D series, plop in the B series, wire it, make sure it physically runs and the car functions, then the engine bay will get completely stripped and repainted. It comes with a territory of filming a restoration process that sometimes you have to do things a little out of the order that you typically would if you weren't filming it to make it interesting on camera. There's that. Unfortunately, the radiator mounts are super dry and brittle, and I almost guarantee you can't get these things anymore. Soak this into some interior cleaner, give it a squeeze. Look at that. There is no radiator drain on. Oh, there is a drain. Good. It's on the side. My collection vessel is for oil, so that's why I have the green thing on top of it. That can't be all the coolant that's in there. Maybe now I can reach. Can I pull the fan out? I don't think I can pull the fan out yet. I think this glove gave up the smoke. I'm really nervous about a lot of these connectors under here because I'm going to have to reuse them and I probably can't get them anymore and I don't want them to break. Oh, I imagine there's liquefied rat shit I'm putting my hands in. I think it's coming out. Haha, I got it and I didn't break it. No wonder the AC didn't work. The AC compressor is completely caked in oil. Tag oil or engine oil? Who knows? Got it! As I continue to extract the AC and radiator fans because I will have to reuse them with the B series, I was pleasantly surprised that none of the old plastic was brittle or breaking. Fan is out. Mitsuba! Yeah, I think this is the original radiator. I don't think it's ever been replaced. In addition to the factory cooling fans, these original full-width radiators are also plenty sufficient for the B16 dual-cam VTEC engine. That quite possibly could be the original radiator. I'm pretty certain the rat that was in the engine bay ate the loom around this harness, but didn't actually eat the wire. In addition to eating that wheel of cheese, it did also poop in the refrigerator. I'm not mad though, however, I am impressed. Woo! This was the only rusty thing on the entire car, and as you can tell, that's from battery acid, from a leaky battery. Well, everything plastic gets a soak. Anywhere there's an engine connector. Injectors. Look at that, soaking it works. Man, I'm amazed this thing ran as good as it did because these grounds look like crap. I could see a lot better what I'm doing if I turned lights on, but then it would look like crap on camera and you wouldn't be able to see. Well, there's rat hair stuck to that plug. I am getting really tired of the smell of rat piss. That came apart perfect. There you go. Ta-da! That's out. I'm legit starting to feel like I have a cold. Like I have a fever from... I don't think that's good. Eek!
I did physically see what went into the engine bay. It was a pack rat, not a mouse, but either way, you should definitely wear a respirator or mask when doing this.
That was a stupid rookie move. I forgot to bleed off the fuel pressure, so that's gonna make a mess. Sweet! I didn't make a mess!
Because the B16 engine was technically offered in these cars in different countries, the plumbing and wiring will be somewhat similar to the original engine's plumbing and wiring.
This should be the last thing on the entire harness, the alternator wiring. That was a Minecraft bat that just made that noise. Disconnect the heater core. This is gonna make some coolant mess, it has to. Oh, catch that. Oh, great. I just moved the drain pan to catch a tiny bit of coolant and then spilt half the drain pan. Can't forget the throttle cable. Good old mechanical throttle cable. Love that. There we go. Can't forget these. There's that one. 1990 is kind of the sweet spot. It's advanced enough, but still simple. And it's not too old, so nothing is broken so far. I don't want to jinx myself, but up to this point. Should only have to stuff my head and arms in this one more time until I can clean it. Oh, there's also a connector on the back of the, is that oil pressure sensor? What the hell is that? The only thing that's broken so far is the plastic cover over the oil pressure sensor. I think it was already cracked though, to be honest. Oh, that sucks. There.
Yep, that was the sound of my flashlight falling in a pan of coolant.
Aside from pulling the axles, engine transmission is ready for extraction, but I gotta prep for a car review, so. The following day, and I have some good news, because when I bought this car, the air conditioning did not work in it. The system was completely empty, which means it saved me some time, but also I gotta replace everything in the system. I was going to anyway. I really do swear by this methodology I've been showing you of wetting down these connectors. It really does prevent them from cracking when you take them apart. Oh, this one is really tight. It's almost off. There we go. Somebody had asked in the last video if there was tags inside here, like the military ones. There are not. These are cheapies. 35. Come on.
I started measuring all the lengths of the bolts as well, so that way when I go to take stuff out of the bags to re-zinc coat them, it's a lot easier to keep track of what came from where.
I bet you with the rear suspension out and the engine and transmission removed from this thing, it weighs less than 1,500 pounds. And this spot looks just as good as any. I'm gonna break that oil cap. I don't wanna do that.
You would be absolutely right to suggest that they make better devices for attaching engines to an engine hoist, and I own 2 of them. Just no clue where they're at.
Got it. Weird, there's a piece of quartz in here, like a rock. Pack rats, collectors of gemstones. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but if I remove that mount completely and then it's out of my way. There you go. Aha. Wow, that motor mount was completely severed all the way around. How did I do the car review like that? That's incredible. Started getting ahead of myself, almost forgot about doing this.
It's all fun and games until you try hoisting an engine and transmission out of a vehicle while the axles are still attached to the hubs, and you end up picking the entire vehicle up off the lip and it slides off and you blow up.
There you go. I was planning on taking all this stuff apart. I didn't think. Sometimes I do that, I just don't think. Man, everything is just blown out on this thing. I'm glad that came off nice and easy. There comes a point when I'm just sick of moving cameras around and I just want to get the job done. There we go. Got it. It came out. Where did I put the, ah, shit. It's out. Oh. Oh, I'm starting to make a mess. I gotta get organized. 115. I have now quadruple verified by sticking my hand and arm all the way around the engine to verify that there's nothing left connected, including the axles to the transaxle, and extract. Oh yeah, that worked. Okay. Oh, no, no, no. Engine mount bolts should be free. No way. That engine mount is torn on this side too. How is this thing? I bet you my alternator is not gonna come up past the. Maybe take the AC compressor off. I don't want to accidentally bonk my condenser with the AC compressor, so. There's another one down below. This is just covered in schmoo. These things are gross. There we go, AC compressor, come out. Out of my way. Wow, the front engine mounts are all shot too. Make sure nothing is catching. Still good. Oops, that is an extracted D16. So now that I got the engine successfully extracted, I can clean all the turds out of the engine bay. Starting with this one. That battery acid did some damage. If you're watching this right now and you have an old battery in your vehicle, I would go check on it before that happens to your engine bay, because that sucks. I really didn't want to take all the suspension off of this thing, and all this is gonna get restored, powder coated, painted, so. Are you really gonna just spin on me? Ooh, that's tight. Like Tuco Salamanca tight. So the Allen portion of the center is stripped and this nut will not come off, so that's fun. Just need it to not spin inside there. Come on, just need it to bite enough. Ah, it's spinning again. It's a nylock nut too, that's probably why. There we go. What a stupid problem that was. All right, aside from the spring, the rest of this is all trash. That is a genuine OEM Honda shock. I'm not saying it's the original one of 220,000 miles on it, but it is completely blown and really crusty. These OG springs are definitely worth saving though. Now I got plenty of room to scrub up inside there. This stuff, it doesn't matter if it's not in the way. Maybe I'll get lucky with this one. Yeah, that one's nice and tight. Let's do this without stripping. Yeah! Look at that! It worked! Sweet! Sweet! I don't think I need to take these off because I'm pretty sure my new suspension comes with one. It's about to start getting crowded over here, penguin. I'm talking to a stuffed penguin. That's real life. Little washer squirter is a complex system on here. I refuse to take the bumper cover off to get to this. It's like a puzzle. I might be able to get to it through there. Maybe. I don't need to put this stuff back in until the project's almost finished. There we go. Now after seeing what it looks like down inside there, I have to take that bumper off. What just fell? That is bad, that's vile. There we go, perfect. This thing's got dual pumps. That's impressive. Oh, that was a dumb idea. Oh, right, just keep peeing everywhere, just piss everywhere. Yep, all right, that was dumb. I didn't want to take the bumper off just yet because it looks sad without its face. There we go. 1 each USDM marker light. I don't know why I just did that. I don't know where those rodents walked, so I'm not taking any chances of bubonic plague living inside this car. I gotta fix the wiring that the rat chewed over here by this light. You see what I mean? It already looks weird without those marker lights on there, like its face is missing. Now, I already mentioned that since this bumper has been cut up for those fog lights, I'm not okay with that. The last thing I want to do is damage any of this hardware that's plastic that holds a bumper cover in place, because I know I will not be able to get replacements of it. How the hell are you supposed to get these out? Oh, I gotta take this piece off? Okay. Oh God. Okay. I like that it uses these giant screws with rubber grommets for the bumper. That's, I guess, so it doesn't create squeaks maybe. That's nice. And they're in good shape. This thing is, what's holding it in? It should be free. The fog lights were catching. Oh, the foam is in 2 pieces.
I had my nose like 2 inches from that pile of seeds and treats. That's why I took the bumper off, because of you.
I'm like almost 100% certain this car has never been a fender bender or like anything. I do have a Carfax on this and it doesn't show anything in its entire life, but now having the bumper off and inspecting it, I don't think this car has ever been even in the slightest of a fender bender. Like everything is just perfect underneath here so far. The little bit that I do know about the original owner of this car, he was an older gentleman that had passed away, and that's why the car ended up sitting for so long before I got it. So I'm guessing he would have probably been in his 40s or 50s when this car was new. 40s. Now before I test fit the B16 and get everything sorted with that, I got a little bit more of this process. I want this to be nice and spotless before I drop the engine in, as well as I need to start test fitting stuff back here for the ITR rear suspension and brakes. And there was more to that sentence, but my brain broke. So if you enjoy what you see here today and you'd like more of it, then eat a Hot Pocket. What is wrong with me? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you soon with another. Bye.